right, a man and a woman. So you were saying, why don't you talk about how important it is? I think it's better to start with how important it is to be a father and what it means to be a father, and like that seems to be of everybody I've ever talked to. I mean, I shouldn't say that, right? Like you're one of two that like you singularly committed that I'm going to be a good dad and I'm going to be a part of this kid's life, and there's nothing that is going to be more important than spending time with my kid. So why don't you explain that so that before we go label ourselves as chauvinistic,
sure. So
assholes. Yeah, where does that come from?
So, I always knew I wanted to have kids,
And also, we can put you on here anonymously. So, like, and I'm thinking about doing that with people. Like, speak your mind. Like, they can cancel me, so you can. I would be. You. Yeah, I guess we know the same people. But yeah, man, I think you should be free to express your opinions, and if people don't like them, I'll invite them on the show. And
I'm really passionate about this. About this, and I mean, you don't like it. Sorry about you. Do your own thing. You know, let's just see how it goes in the long run.
Yeah.
So whatever. So,
and I guess we should let the audience know that our first conversation got canceled by way of our network. So we had to take it down. You're only one of two episodes I had to take down. One of myself and one of me and you. So anyway, we're just gonna say what we got to say, and if people don't like it, they can come on and talk about it, because maybe we have learning to do.
That's right.
Anyway.
Dude, you're spot on. Oh, what I wanted to do, I wanted to have kids. I knew it. We were always kind of told, hey, man, your life's over if you have kids, you know? And I was like, damn. So I went and lived my life. I'm not saying life's over, but I did all the partying, all the shit that I needed to do. Just, I did it. So I don't need to go and have any regrets whatsoever on, oh man, back when I was 25, man, and I had this kid, I really wanted to go to a concert or whatever. I mean, there's a place I've always wanted to go. I haven't yet gone, Red Rocks in Colorado. Like, that'd be fun ultimately to go to, but I'm not going to leave my kids now for it. So I waited until I was 35 to have a kid. And I'm like, or actually 36. And I'm like, man, when I have the kid, nothing else really matters. The fishing trips aren't going to be as important to me to make sure that we go and do unless I have this kid with me, because it all changes. Like so now the regret that I have at 37 with a 1.5-year-old is I'm like, damn, I waited 10 years too long. Because now I just wish that I could have another 10 years that I'm never going to get back to spend with this little tiny human. That it's just incredible to be able to spend all this time with him. No regrets. You know, no regrets on doing the stuff in the past besides maybe waiting too long. So then we kind of touched about. So one of the things that I keyed in on to is, you know, Kevin, I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. I've got 50 things going. You've got a million things going. And there's just a lot of shit going on all the time. I keyed in on something, a piece of information that I took, and it was a statistic of between, if you are an entrepreneur and you just decide that, you know, you because there's always shit to do, even till midnight. You could work, and then you could wake up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and you could dive in, and you could keep yourself busy if you wanted to, nonstop. If you're a business owner, that's just part of it. And this statistic said that kids who do not have their parents, both parents, between they're born and they're 5 years old, you're going to spend the rest of their life doing remedial parenting. And I'm like, damn. So it basically was speaking, I'm part of some of these entrepreneur pages and whatnot, you see some of this information, and I'm like, okay, it's like, dude, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to put your shit aside You need to calm down and you need to spend time with this kid. So whatever you're doing to figure that out, that's what you need to do. And I'm like, for a minimum of 5 years. So it's like, all right, if I want to be filthy rich and I've got the best idea and I want to do all this stuff, and I've got these huge plans, I'm going to do it. But I gotta slow back a little bit until he's at least 5. So his foundation is like him and I, no matter what happens, we're good. We're solid. It's like it's going to be like that. It's going to be awesome. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the plan right now.
And you had said that the statistic is if you can spend 2 hours a day, the first hour and the last hour, that's like sufficient to form that bond to avoid this idea of being a remedial parent.
Yeah, so that was the bare minimum statistic. It was like if you can spend unencumbered an hour in the AM and an hour in the PM, no cell phones, no anything, but being completely present with your child, reading their books, because they're going to find a book that they love or whatever, a toy, whatever that is, to do that with them on their level, that creates a bond that is unshakable. It's just this unshakable bond. So,
and then we were kind of talking about like you're trying to model it after nature, where the boy needs to spend time after 5 primarily with a male. Is that true?
Yeah.
Or that's And then is that?
Yeah, exactly.
And
so we talked about it, earlier. We talked about the animal thing, and I just made an observation of animals, and it's like you don't see a silverback gorilla who has sex a lot like a human, has a baby that looks a lot like a human. You don't see that gorilla passing this baby off, and you dang sure don't see that mama gorilla putting it in a different room. Like that baby sleeps with this mama and papa every night until it's of age. Like that's just nature, dude. Like that's ducks are the same. All the animals, like that's, you don't see them go in a separate room and put that baby down because the mom needs some space. It's your job. It's your job. It's as a parent to do that. Like it sucks. There's a lot of crap that sucks about being a parent, but that's what you sign up for. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And then that goes back to the gun dog thing. It's like, damn, dude, if you're just a rich guy or even not even a rich guy, but you're a dude who likes to go duck hunting, don't own a dog and just use it for a month or 2 a year, or 50 days or whatever, and then have somebody else raise it. Just fucking get a guide, rent a dog. You don't need to own that dog. It's stupid. So you don't have to have a kid. You don't have to have a dog. Don't have a kid if you don't want to be a parent. You don't want to work your ass off doing it. Why have it? It's not a fucking novelty, dude. There's only one thing that's most important. It's raising the kid. It's the kid. That's it.
And just to make sure I'm clear, so in the world, and do you know what the school of thought is that you subscribe to for parenting? Because I think there's any number of experts, philosophies. Is there somebody that's the champion of the theory that you're subscribing to? Or this is just from all your research, this is your summary?
This is, and my research isn't extravagant and all this stuff. I mean, I spend the majority of my time in very quiet places, remote, away from technology, and I'm in nature.
So you were talking about what it means to be a good father in your eyes. I was pushing back on some things. We disagreed about some things, then we agreed on some things. What I'm most fascinated in is, so with the advent of the pursuit of equality in women, I say this a lot. I think women are the far superior being. If you want me to know, if you want to know the truth, like if you look at what they got to do to birth a kid, what they got to do to raise a kid, what a man looks like when he gets sick versus what a woman looks like. I just think I think they're probably the superior being. We can debate that for sure, but as they set out to compete in the workspace and now triumph over a lot of men, right? So you've got women you've got women CEOs that like they're running billion-dollar businesses while raising a family and involved in school, you know, and it's like, so it makes it very hard for a man to lead a relationship. I don't know, is a man supposed to lead a relationship? And then we were getting ready to talk about the 80-20 crisis, which is, and I've talked to several women that experience this. It's like 80% of the women are competing for 20% of the men, leaving 80% of the men feeling worthless, like, totally like losers.
Yeah, it is. It's in a predicament there. You know, I mean, once we gave those women pants, you know, it all changed.
But so what do we do? I mean, what do we do? What is so I guess in your worldview, because we were talking about parenting and all of that, like I had kind of said, I think like a return, like I'm going to sound like a chauvinist, but I think like a man's job was to protect and provide. You know, when there's no war, there's not much to protect from. And that's not exactly true, but like, and now when women can provide for themselves, like, what's a man anymore? Just a sperm donor? Or like, what do you,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you do?
Well, yeah, what do you do with it? I don't know. I mean, I'm an old fashioned type of guy. I feel like a woman, although not saying she can't run a multi-bajillion-dollar business and be incredible out there in the workforce, but I feel like it's her job to not only bear a child, but raise it. If you are in a, you know, I mean, that's what God intended. That's what he designed, I feel like. And we're supposed to go out there and hunt, gather.
Isn't it weird that to say that is diminishing, and we actually have to be afraid of being labeled as like chauvinistic pigs?
I mean, isn't that effed up that we're sitting here just beating this, tiptoeing this subject? Like, I mean, damn, that's crazy.
Well, so I think about it like sometimes I think about it this way: like, there's nothing sexier than a mother with kids. Like, there's nothing sexy. Like, I think it's like it's bad. Now, am I attracted to like hard charging women that are like badass business ladies? Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, one of my best friends is like, she's a badass. Like, she runs circles around me. But it's like motherhood is sexy, and it's like, why isn't it okay to say that? Like, motherhood is sexy, and that's what I like. I don't know, you know, like it's like, and I see a lot of women, and I've got a friend that has a wife that is just really excited to be a mom, and a lot of women are like look down on her for that. It's like, you're just gonna be a mom. You're not going to have a job. I don't know, man. This one's actually really dangerous. I'm going to get in trouble with this one.
Well, I mean, there's so many people that have asked, so is Addie back to work yet? I'm like, well, actually, she is at a full-time job. I mean, for me personally, that's a tough job. That's a harder job than, you know, about anything there is to do. I mean, there's no time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, yeah, no, not really. No, she's not back to work. She has done a few jobs, fit some in, but I mean, her focus is raising our kid.
Where do you think it came from? Because we were talking earlier about well, I guess why don't you give your quick, like, a man needs to be present in a boy's life. Like, what would that sermon sound like from you? Like, let's talk about, I think they relate.
Well, I think that a kid, there's a lot of information out there. We've already touched on that. There's a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different things of what someone thinks is right and wrong or whatever. So you got to sift through it. There's a million experts and they all have their own opinion. So if on the parenting thing, you know, it's like, man, you go to research this crap, or not crap, but this stuff because you want to be the best dad you can be. So you take in all this information. And it's like everything's conflicting. I think that so I also think that touching back on this woman thing, you know, I think we're not intentionally brainwashed, but I believe that the majority of the American people are brainwashed towards like, yeah, the woman has to work. The woman has to work. Why does the woman have to work? Well, because we can't survive otherwise. We have to have both sets of income. Okay, well, could it be that you maybe are living the wrong way? Could you, and I'm not trying to I don't care how you're living. I'm just saying, could you live more on less? Could you make it work on one income instead of paying somebody that you don't know, that maybe has some weird viewpoints that you don't necessarily agree with, and it doesn't align with what you think is right and wrong specifically? Why would you work? Why would you leave your child to go and make money to pay this fool who's to raise your kid? That doesn't even make sense. That makes sense perfectly if you don't think about it. It's crazy. So to me, I'm like, okay, can we make it work on one income? Well, let's try that. So, I mean, crap. Coulter is he's already the size of a 3.5-year-old at 1.5. So talk about going through clothes. The cost that's going with the kid who's grown as fastly as this kid. He's going at twice the speed. He eats what a man eats. It's like, damn, this kid's going through food like crazy. Oh yeah, we can do it. We don't make a lot of money. We can do it.
So you're saying most of what you've learned is from nature. So let me make sure that I summarize it right. So, world according to Corey is when you have a kid, a mother needs to spend most of her time with the kid, and a man needs to, from the ages of 0 to 5, needs to devote it as best he can, an hour to 2 a day of intentional time with their kid. And then after 5 is upbringing, or what does that look like after 5?
Well, and to be clear too, and when I said an hour in the front and an hour in the back, that would be the 100 million% bare minimum. Like, you need to do better than that. So however you can, you need to do better. So, and then the second part.
We'll get. Yeah, let's get to that before. So, like, let's say I'm somebody that wants to have kids, but my job's not going to let me do that. I'm like, I'm in the military. I'm going to be deployed. Like, how consequential is that? Would you recommend, from your studies, is it so damaging that, like, you shouldn't have a kid if you can't get that done for the first 5 years of their life? Or is it in your review, it's unovercomable, or it's just different?
Sure. So you're saying, I'm in the military, I'm deployed, or a similar type case or whatever it may be. If you're not going to be around your kid, don't fucking have the kid. If you don't have the ability to be around the kid, don't have the kid. Because there's no reason to have the kid having to go through having daddy issues or mommy issues that they're going to have to spend 10, 15, 20 years of their fucking life going through, trying to get their shit figured out. Why mom wasn't there? Why dad wasn't there? Well, dad was in the military. He had to go. Well, fuck, why did he have me? Why would you want just to have a kid, to have somebody else raise it? If you're not going to be there, it's better not to do it. That's how I'd look at it.
Is it the key years of 0 through 5, or it's all the way till 18 that's the case?
Oh, no. I mean, I think that if you are asking yourself that question after the first kid, then the answer is on the wall. You don't need to be having kids at all. After you have a kid,
I think what I'm trying to hone in on is what's the time horizon and the time commitment in your review. That's like 2 hours a day for 18 years minimum. I mean, and I know you shouldn't be looking at minimum. Everybody should be trying to spend as much time with their kids as they can. Like, that would be the right. But, like, if I'm somebody that I'm looking at, I got, for the next 10 years, I couldn't fulfill that contract. Like, you would say, don't have kids, don't reproduce.
I would say, I would say that would be the best for humanity and everybody else. Absolutely. We don't need any more kids being raised by a fucking Xbox. We don't. It's just, why have it?
So I have this philosophy because I'm getting involved with Big Brother, Big Sister, and I think it's great. I just feel like having a male role model that's like, I'm not saying this as having a real male role model that is intentional with a kid once a week, I think can change a lot of horizons. I'm not saying you should go be a parent if you're going to involve in get, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how you marry. So that idea was where like a little bit from a man goes a long way versus like, how do you see it in the elk in nature with elk? Because like the man breeds and then has nothing to do with that kid until, you know, they're beyond adolescence and then they go hang out exclusively with the male. How do you reconcile that? Or do you?
I don't necessarily. You're taking a specific breed. I'm trying to kind of look at all nature. You know, gorillas aren't going to do that. They're living in a family. You know, mammals. A lot of it just depends on which animal species, subspecies. I guess you're looking at. The deer, the elk. Sure. I don't think that I'm going to closely relate as much with an elk as I would something like a gorilla. Or even a fucking duck, you know. I mean, a papa duck is around a lot. You know, Robins, Mr. Robin. You know, Mr. Robin over here.
You talked about lions made for life, or they don't. It's one male breeds a bunch of women in a pride, right? For lions, is that right?
Yeah, something like that. And I guess where I'm at with it is just like, you know, you touched on Big Brother, and it's like, yeah, I think you are right. There's going to be these crusader men who are going to be able to spend an hour a week with a guy, and you're going to change that kid's life. That kid is already carrying around a substantial amount of emotional baggage. He's already in a place where he's got a parent that is not there. So this crusader is trying to change this life with an hour a day, but he's doing it with 50 other kids. He's fucking running himself ragged. What? Okay. So moving forward, sure, that's wonderful for those crusaders that are out there helping the problem at hand. How do we help the problem? Don't have the fucking kids if you're not going to spend time with the kids. If you're living in a fucking crack house and you're just popping out kids because there's nothing better to do, you should be castrated. Dude, I'm dealing with it firsthand in Missouri. It's fucked up. How are you having kids when you can't hold a job? You're living in a tent, but you're having a kid. You shouldn't have a kid.
Yeah.
It's crazy because guess what? Now, because they're, fuck, he should have his right, bro. He should have his fucking right. Guess what? Crusaders like you, crusaders like me, now we get to take care of we get that financial responsibility. We get that emotional responsibility. It's on us now. Because who else is going to do it?
Yeah. Man, there's so much to unpack. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, the destruction of the nuclear family has been quite damaging to society.
What I would say. For sure. And it's like, dang, is that brainwash? Is that programming? Is it just the way it fell out? Is there a narrative still pushing that on either side? I mean, it's plausible. Because in nature, why would you want to have a kid and have somebody else raise it to get just so you have that income to get more stuff to show off to somebody else, you know, to compete with your neighbor or whatever it may be? It's effed up. It's like, damn, the priorities, the ideal of success, the ideal of what is enough is to the eye of the individual, but is that skewed due to society? What do you need?
Have you studied?
You need food. You need a home. You need a shelter. If you can get reserves, storing up for winter, that's what you need. And then you need to be present. You don't need to be
Do you study it at all? Do you study it historically? Do you know where do you think we as humans went wrong, or Americans particularly?
Yeah, I don't know about that. we we joke, Addie and I joke, and we always say, it all went to shit after we let the women have pants, real pants. That was it's just like an inside joke. I don't know. I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went wrong. Obviously,
explain the joke to me. Explain the joke to me. I don't get it. Like, because women are wearing the pants in the relationship.
Well, like back in the day, back in the day, women couldn't vote. They couldn't have pants with pockets. They could only wear skirts. Or dresses and shit. We made them sit in the back of the bus.
We agree that wasn't exactly right either, right? Or you think that was better?
No, that was not right. We just joke and just say, like, damn, once we gave those women, pants and pockets, we gave them a voice, they want to go to work. But I'm not saying that's actually, it's just a funny thing. It's not a real thing, it's just kind of funny. Is there some truth to it? I don't freaking know. I mean, the way you kind of said it, when.
Yeah, where do you think it went? Where do you think it went wrong? If we agree, it's kind of.
Well, you kind of said it a second ago when you're like, well, when the nuclear family went awry, is kind of, when was that? I don't know. That's what happened, though. I feel like that when you start taking away mamas and putting in a rent-a-mama with different viewpoints, because they're there for a job. They're not there because that's what the fuck they want to do. They don't want to raise your kid. They're doing it because they need the money. So what are you getting? I think that's where it went to shit. And then the dad's like, and I'm not saying this feeling isn't real. This feeling of like, holy shit, I have to provide for my family. I want my kid to have a new bike, and I want my kid to have clothes that are cool looking, and whatever it may be. You're like, damn, I gotta make more money, and then you become in this. You get in this paradox of you want to do the best you can financially for your kid, for your wife, for your future. You want to take care of yourself because shit, you've been working forever, but then you got to be present too. So it's a nasty paradox. But at the end of the day. And it's not like every day I'm just wake up, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. It's like, it's a fucking battle every day for the moments in time that you're like, you got to be present with your kid when you're there. When you're not there, you got to kick ass and take names. It's the best I can say. It's the best I can do. And I try to be there as much as I can. And that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
speaking of circles,
the other thing
did I even answer what we were going for?
I think what I'm trying to get at, and I don't know that you have an answer, is like where did it go wrong? Like, I think this, I don't know. It's scary to even talk about. And I was saying earlier, like, I know a bunch of women that can like most of the people that are like charging hard with me on some of my ambitions. Like, I'm like 10 to 1 women to men. Like, I can find a lot of hard charging women in the workspace. I don't find a lot of men. So, like, I don't know. I'm just wondering, I don't know where societally we've deviated so that the emphasis on being good parents doesn't exactly seem to be there. I don't know. And then on the other side, like, we were talking earlier, I don't know if we were on this or not, but the 80-20, like 80% of that whole thing is like, I think there's a lot of women out there that want to bear children with a good man and can't find a good man. And then, like, I don't know. It is very circular. I just don't know what you do with it. I really don't know what you do with it.
It's just a big mess. Yeah. Yeah.
What would you prescribe though? Because you've got kind of two things now. You're talking, if you can't be present with your kid on both sides, you shouldn't have kids. But you got people that are working to survive that want kids. So, like, I think it's easier when you're talking. Like, I think your criticism that I'm picking up from our earlier conversation is like, of the hard charging entrepreneur males that are prioritizing more money versus more time and more presence with their kid. Like, I think that's easy to pick on. think what's hard to pick on is the struggling employee that is just trying to make enough money to provide for his family, that has to work 2 jobs, and maybe his wife has to work a job in order to put food on the table. Like, that's hard. I mean, I think that's a legitimate difficulty that we owe society a better solution for. But I don't know where you fall on that.
I think that all comes. I think that there's. I think that that's an easy horse to get behind, and I tend to be a little more cynical on that kind of side of things, because I see it, and I see that a lot. I see it a lot, and it's like the struggling. Yeah, I got to work this. I got to work these jobs. Because I have to put. Yeah, to survive. I've got $1,000 fucking phone in my pocket. It's $120 a month to run that bitch. I got a car payment. I'm living in a house that's too big. I can't afford, but we got to work all these jobs to do it. Dude, I'm going to Target to buy some high-end fucking Lululemon, kids, $50 pair of pants. I get them for $1. At Goodwill. It's going to grow out of them in a month. Do I have to work this week? Do I have to go to work driving a truck at FedEx? I used to do it, dude. I was a driver. I worked my dick into the dirt for $550 a week. 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. That's what it was. $550 a week. Yeah, I get it. It sucks. Cause I can make that work. I can raise my family on $550 a week. And shit, today, you can't get a kid in high school for under $25 an hour to push a broom. They're rolling in money nowadays.
All right, so there's so many ways we can go with this, but to summarize, I'm going to say an issue in the world that you identify with would be, and I want to make sure, and an issue, so there's an issue that I think we're deleting men. So one, masculinity is under siege. Like, what is it to be masculine? Is it even sought after? I was kind of talking, like, I don't even know if we're supposed to hold the door anymore. And I think there's this, what I would call this parity conquest for women that sounds like we're equal, if not better. And I would agree they're probably better, but like, what room does that leave the male? And then we have a bunch of boys that are confused and don't know what they're supposed to seek or be. And then you also have an issue where there's a bunch of fatherless boys that aren't being mentored. Would that be like the end state problem? Would you agree with that?
And I guess so. And there's going to be some of those guys that want to be, for those fatherless children, that want to be an influence, but they're not men. So then they're not fucking. Those are influencing those fatherless children. And it's like, bro, you can't change a tire. Dude, I went and bought a bed yesterday, Kevin, off of Facebook Marketplace. Badass dude. Dude, look just like you. Badass beard. Deep voice. Cool looking. Wearing a Chiefs jersey. Bro, he spent 4 full minutes trying to figure out how to get a drill chuck on a DeWalt drill to fucking close around a Phillips drill bit.
Yeah. I mean, and now you're getting into, like, if you can't work with your hands, can you still be a man? And, like, there's a lot of men that are going to not appreciate that. But it's like,
bro, if you, okay, sorry about it. If you want to live more on less and you can't grow your own fucking food, you can't change a tire, you can't, what are you going to do? How are you going to business your way out of that?
Well, and I wonder, so I kind of have always seen women as the gatekeeper, and we will rise or lower to the standards with which they set. But I don't know. I mean, I tend to think women thinks it's attractive or sexy when a man is capable with his hands. But that, for the last decade, if not 20 years, has not been something that wasn't something to ascribe to.
And that doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck about what's attractive and whatnot? That's just, A woman, I promise you, if you're a fucking man and you're a badass man, you don't ever have to worry about women. You don't ever have to worry about nothing with a woman because a woman's attracted to it. Y'all, you know it, I know it. That's how it is. A woman likes a man, a real man. A woman doesn't like a fucking man who says, honey, we just got a flat tire. We're going to be here a while because AAA is over an hour away. That's pathetic.
So in your definition of what a man should be, he needs to be capable. He needs to be handy and capable to work with his hands.
You need to be able to take care of your shit. And what they say in medieval times, your house. You need to handle your house and everything in it. If your hot water heater takes a shit, there's enough information on YouTube. You can figure it out. You need to be able to take care of your shit. That's what I believe.
And so let's talk about a very successful executive on Wall Street. Let's talk about a man that went to school, is very successful, can lead people, but doesn't know how to change a tire. You would say that is not a man. That is a less than ideal man.
I like to call him sports, and I see him every day. I see him every day. They're sports. They've got money. They're cool people. If you can't change a tire, you're a sport. You're just a sport. So when the money goes away, the health starts to fail. You're all alone. You can't fix your fucking toilet. What are you going to do? You can't. Things go to shit. And you can't take care of yourself. What are you going to do? You can't buy your way out of shit.
Yeah. And so interesting. Now the interesting thing is when you say it doesn't matter what a woman wants, I feel like at the end of the day, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think men are simple creatures. They want to be respected. They want to be appreciated, and they want to have sex, right? They're pretty simple beings. I think women are far more complex. Would you agree with that, or you think there's more to men than I'm giving them credit for?
Oh, I mean, yeah, pretty basic. We're pretty basic. Yeah.
But so then, so this is kind of where if the woman is the prize, right? We want to earn her love, and I think you can see this in nature all over. Like if you look what a cardinal has to do to mate, and you look what a male has to do to mate to earn the right to breed in a woman's womb, right? Like I kind of. So you disagree that they're the gatekeeper? Because the standard of excellence in men, what women seek in men is what we're going to deliver, right? And I think for a while here, sex culture and kind of this laissez-faire, like what you had to do to earn a woman's love or the right to breed with her recreationally or intimately to procreate, it's been lower. Like, you could be a video gaming nerd that all you do is put somebody else's jersey with somebody else's name on your back and, like, go and yell at the TV. But you have a decent enough job. Like, I feel like that's been the bar for a while. Do you agree, or you think that's not really the problem?
Yeah, I would agree that's part of the problem. I would. I could definitely get along with that.
Instead of leading the witness, if we agree that we have a masculinity decline and it's a problem, where do you chase that to? Where do you find that to be I'm sure there's a multiple series, but if we were like, yeah, let's fix that, we need to build better men. What's the problem?
Okay, so let's start. Let's start right now. Let's start right now with babies, with children. Moldable.
Well, yeah,
they are the next generation. Fuck the millennial, bro.
But what would you prescribe when you say let's start? Because I don't have a clear, like if like the whole world's listening to Corey and this is how you raise a boy, into a man. First of all, like define what it is to be a man. Like a good man, define him quick. Like the key wickets.
I think that a good poppy should be.
So that's one. Is that one he needs to seek to be a father? Is that to be a would that be one? So to be a good poppy. So to be a good father, you need to be a good man. One must seek to be a father.
No, I just think to be a good. I guess if we're not talking father, we're talking man. You need to be able to do. You need to be able to follow through with what you say. At the end of the day, if you do something, you gotta follow through with it. You gotta honor your family. You gotta do the best you can by them. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. I mean, actually, it's really elementary, simple things that I think that humanity just ultimately gets off track for some reason. You people nowadays will just go down the wrong path. Unfortunately, they get shunned from maybe their spouse, and they go down the the what is that, OnlyFans. Fucking people are. It's crazy. It's crazy. Some of the shit that's happening out there. I think to be a good man, you just need to be doing the best that you can. I feel like it is pretty easy. It should be pretty easy. I mean, it is. It's really easy. Just not try to fuck over your neighbor. Not try to just fucking one up your neighbor. Just be yourself. Be a good person with good intentions. You know that this universe is going to take care of you. It's going to happen. Don't be a piece of shit. I mean, that needs to be on a fucking bumper sticker. Don't be a piece of shit. That's the key to life. Dream what you want it to be. Go at it with good intentions, with a pure heart, and it's going to happen. Don't be a piece of shit.
I feel like I need you in my studio I need to whittle you down to, because it's like, I mean, you can be a big sports fan, a successful executive, and not know how to change a tire and do what you say you're going to do. But you still wouldn't rate them as a good man, right? It's like,
no, not necessarily.
They're not out there hurting their team.
Well, I guess. Okay, so we're in a demasculating. No, I know what you're doing. I get it. I mean, I understand what you're doing, and I that's fine. So your executive who's on Wall Street, okay? He doesn't know how to change a tire, doesn't know how to fucking change a light bulb, for Pete's sake. Never done anything like that, okay? So he's influencing the next generation of what? Of sharks? Of demasculine? You just said it earlier, we have a masculine decline. What influence is Mr. Executive bringing to the already declining masculine society that we're falling into? You just said that. Okay, so what's this guy doing for the next generation? Is he creating a shark? Do we need more sharks? Do we need more fucking pieces of shit out there that just want wealth? They prioritize wealth over knowledge of common shit to take care of your family?
And is it, so you would say, and this is funny because a lot of my other explorations land me in this camp, that the pursuit of more and more and more money is actually corrupting a lot of things. So would you argue that maybe the emphasis on wealth and the emphasis on Wall Street and the emphasis on retirement and the belief that money is the stabilizing factor in the home is the great corruptor? Would that be?
I would 1,000,000% agree with that. I would say that is a huge. Go ahead.
Could you find? Well, no. Yeah. So it sounds like you agree. So could you find yourself more sympathetic to? I'm going to call them men, the men that have been corrupted into believing that all they need to do is make enough money to provide for their family, and maybe they didn't focus on some of those hard skills. Like that would be maybe the mistake or the accident in our society. And there's not a focus on masculinity in the terms that you define it as being able to work with your hands, being able to fix things, being handy, being self-sufficient. Would that be a mistake that we've all? Because I think we as a society have placed most emphasis. A man's worth is in his ability to provide, and his ability to provide has been focused on, his wealth statement. How much is he worth? How much is he making? How big of a home can he buy me? Would it be fair to be compassionate towards those that have been running that race and lost sight of real masculinity in favor of pursuit of wealth?
I get you can be compassionate to all of them, to everybody. I mean, that's of course you should be. I mean, if said person doesn't know shit, I don't think he needs to be influencing my kids. I don't think he needs to be influencing anybody.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Moving away. Yeah, no, and I'm not, I think there's your view of the world versus the world that we're in versus a optimal view of the world. If we move from, that's not somebody that should be influencing future males, and we go to how do we build better males, is your simple suggestion that we need to focus on being able to work with our hands, being able to be more self-sufficient and focus less on money and focus more on capabilities? That would be a better version of masculinity than what we have now?
I think that the whole deal is a really big onion, and it's how many layers does the person really want to go for what they believe is probably the right and wrong way. My belief system would be everything that I'm ingesting, that I'm buying from the Food and Drug Administration, that we're just putting sole trust in, is probably corrupted in some way, shape, or form, being pesticides with your food, with your water, with everything. I want to be self-sufficient. I will become self-sufficient. We're eating a lot of our own food. We harvest a lot of our own meat, natural, real, unpesticides, no bullshit, no shit that's not doing you any good, that the government's saying that's good for you, that's really not. That the government set up a scholastic system for the general public. I don't believe that system fits into my beliefs on what I think is a good idea. The idea of working this allotted time for X amount of money, you're trading your time for a monetary value that you can never get back. And then at a certain amount of age, when you're old as fuck and you can't do anything, you can go ahead and just spend out the last little bit of your time with whatever little bit of money you saved. That doesn't make sense. That's ignorant. That's dumb as a butt fuck, I would say. So, I mean,
you're passionate. I didn't know how passionate about this you were. Where did this come from?
Oh, this has been there for a long time. Long time, since I was 30.
And most of what you reject is this idea of pursuit of wealth and a future. I mean, yeah, well, because we talked about
not a pursuit of wealth. I'm pursuing wealth. You're pursuing wealth. We're all pursuing wealth. That's what we want. We all want wealth. What are you going to sacrifice to get the wealth? Are you going to sacrifice the time that your kid needs you there in pivotal times for wealth, for monetary? For why?
So you would say that
you can deal with all that at a certain time, whenever the time. Just if you let it be, you have faith that it's all going to happen. It's going to happen. But you got to be present with your kid when you have the time.
you would be critical of society's emphasis on wealth ahead of family wellness. Would that be the way to say it?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then what I've been trying to drive at, and I've not done a good job, but where did it go wrong? Like, why do you think? How did we get here? Like the source, the root cause of this. And the only one I won't give you is just a bunch of evil companies, because we're all participating in it. So where did we become so easily corruptible, or where did we lose our way? Where the new
well, I mean, buddy,
go ahead.
Before we have computers to now write my resume, and before we have computers to do so many data entry and just bullshit jobs, we needed people. We needed people that weren't going to say, hey, I'm going to go start my own fencing company. I don't need a bunch of people working for me that say, hey, we're going to fucking come here. We're going to do the same thing you're doing, because we can do it. Yeah, everybody can do it, but all business owners need workers. We need workers. We need them. We got to have them. You don't want a bunch of free-spirited, fucking free-thinking son bitches working for you. If you're going to have long-term play with them, I mean, is it not the big businesses?
So you're saying,
could that not be a part of the onion? Could that not be part of the onion?
So you would say the desire for big business is the corrupter of the nuclear family?
Not entirely, no. I just think that's just one layer. I think that there's a lot of other layers that all play.
I suppose
think that people.
You go ahead.
I just feel like people who have lost focus on what actual reality is, and I mean what actual reality is what God created is in nature. If you don't spend time in nature, then you're not quiet. Your soul's not quiet. If your soul's not quiet, you can't listen to your soul, because it's fucking jumbled up with city lights and noises and fucking trains and dogs from your neighbor and bullshit. You're making wrong moves. If you never leave the city, you don't learn anything. You don't know. So if you don't know shit, then what are you doing? You're in the city doing city shit that really doesn't mean anything, because you're relying on everybody else to do everything for you. Everything. Food, water, shelter. The things that you need.
What I'm going to ask you to do, we're going to move over into your real domain, which is nature and conservation and hunting and all. But for the next conversation, what I don't have from you that I'm trying to drive at is, if Corey Cribb was the notional God for a day and rewound the clocks and could reset the table towards the most productive, the most abundant version of human, like, where would you go, stop, rewind, and revise? That's what I'm like. If you could just put and maybe you got to go to 3 events or 3, I think the toxic masculinity movement was really bad for men. I think it stood for a good reason. I think that was troubling. And then I have a few others, but I'm just curious if you got to go reset the deck and build the world that you wanted.
So let me just try to. I'm gonna take a small bite out of it, and I'm gonna take a small whack at this attempt. But I do feel in the day, every family had a certain amount of acreage, typically 40 to 120 acres. They were working that ground. They were taking care of their family. The family was staying on the place, taking care of the old people that were mom and dads at one point, and then they're raising their family, and they're doing it all. The pursuit of wealth, the pursuit of more, the pursuit of, hey, we're leaving the farm because we don't want to milk the cows anymore. We don't want to work the cows. We don't want to plant the corn. We want to buy the corn from China. We want to buy the bacon from China. We want to buy the beef from Brazil. We don't want to do it all ourselves anymore. We want to go to the city. We want to make money. And then mom and dad's farm, because nobody's going to come back there, it's going to go to Monsanto. It's going to go to fucking the big business. And then they're going to take that corn that mom and dad used to grow. They're going to sell it to out of state or out of country. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to buy from out of country and we're going to eat that instead of the shit that should have come right from my mom and dad's backyard that they had. We were handy. We knew shit. We could do everything. We were self-sufficient. There was this community, dude. All this rural land was inhabited. There was people, thriving communities, not ghost towns, dude. The ghost towns are ghosty because everyone's in the city.
So I think we got there. So the Industrial Revolution is probably your pinnacle. That's probably where you see society leaving the best version. You know, because you can walk it all the way back to the Nathandra. Oh man, can't think of the name. Nathandrals. What are they called? Like Neanderthals. Jeez, man. I never claimed to be smart. But so like, there's a time with which some of our advancement was good, and then so you're kind of, you would want us to rewind back to pre-industrial revolution, pre-assembly line, go back to tight-knit communities that are self-serving in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I think those were pretty good times, you know. Seems like a good bit of history in times, you know. I mean, I spend a lot of time in rural lands, and it's like, damn, dude, if I could have just seen this 100 years ago, if I could have just been here 100 years ago, everything was just so incredible. The architecture, the infrastructure that was down, it was like, damn, these places were incredible, beautiful. They're nothing now. They're forgotten places. It's fucked up.
It doesn't mean we can't go habitate, make habitat in them and then repopulate them. But.
Well, I mean, it's making it awful hard nowadays because 90% of the crops are going to, 90% of these farms are getting bought up by conglomerates, and the idea of a family ranch. I mean, in the next 5 to 10 years, that idea completely will be out of existence. You can't do it.
I would get
big business has done that. They have. It's pretty sad, man. I mean, the inputs alone, back in the day, you could sell your crop and you could afford a brand new John Deere tractor at the end of the year. Well, nowadays you couldn't afford $1 million tractor with 100 years crops because you only have 100 acre.
Yeah, I could get behind a lot of that. All right, one last question. You have to answer this. So, speaking to one of the issues that I've been keying in on, so 80% of women are competing for 20% of the men. What would your advice to those women be if they were to listen?
That's a great question, Kevin. I don't know what I would tell a woman. I've never thought about that.
Well, you can go ponder it. You can ponder it. That's fine. I don't know. I don't know what I would tell them either.
Yeah. I mean, from the hip, I would honestly ask, like, do you want a boy or do you want a man? Because if you're searching for a man, but you want to fucking wear a dick too, you can't do both. If you want to be the head of the household, but you want a man, you got to really just kind of figure out what you want, because you can't do both.
Wise words from Corey. Good luck out there, dude. Enjoy it, man. Good chatting with you.